All right, guys, so right now I have two traps. This trap I didn't build, this trap I built. All right, the title of this video is gonna be Blue Crab Trap Explain, part 2. All right, so I had a couple people asking me different questions about the blue crab trap and the measurements. First thing is, we don't really take exact measurements. I think this trap will measure 2 foot by 2 foot. Don't quote me on that. What we go by is the actual square meshes. All of our bending tables are already sent to the square meshes. This right here is a 13 mesh high trap. So sometimes you hear people talk about 13 high, 11 high, 12 high. That's just basically how many square high the trap is. All right, so what we do is we cut two 42 foot, 42 mesh lengths of wire, right? We take that wire, we lay it flat, we bend it, we count 13 meshes in, and we bend it up. So you count 13 meshes in, and then we bend. 13 meshes in, and we bend. Same thing here, 13 meshes in, bend. Once you bend them in, they both shape like a U, right? So then you put those to the side. Then you have the baffle. A lot of people ask questions about the baffle. The baffle is 20 square mesh length. It's 20 square mesh, right? So when you build a baffle, it's 20 square mesh length. You count it in 5 mesh. You count in 5 mesh on each side. You bend up, right? So you got that baffle that's bent up like a U. Then you take it and you find the direct center of it and you sit it on a 2x4. And when you find the direct center, you bend it over the 2x4. That way you have the shape like this, and then they go up like that, shape like that, right? So when you bend that over the 2x4, you come into the dead center of it again. Well, not the dead center, but you count 1 mesh in, and then you basically cut your hole. So you'll count 1 mesh in, and you'll cut the center out, the center piece out. And then you take it, and then you bend it open to make it open wider, right? Once you get that open wider, you do that on both sides. 1 mesh in, 5 meshes, cut. You go cut you cut 1 mesh in right here, then you go 5, and then you cut the center out of 5. And then when you take that 5, you spread them open. That way you have where the crabs can come in and go up to the top, right? So once you get the baffle cut and the baffle bent and cut, you take that baffle, take one of your first cuts, your 42 mesh that you bent up, 13 mesh, you take that and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meshes up on that high, right? You take your hog ring gun and you staple the baffle. Excuse me, I'm ahead of myself a little bit. Once you find the direct center of the baffle, you take your bait well, you set the baffle over top of your bait well, and then you hog ring the bait well. You hog ring the bait well into the baffle up here, right? Once you get the baffle hog ringed in, then you take the baffle. Then you take the baffle along with the bait well. You get your U-shape, 42 length U-shape. You set the baffle in there. You count 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you hog ring the baffle all the way across. Then you flip it to the other side where the baffle is. You count 5 meshes up again, and then you hog ring it straight across, right? So now you kind of got your baffle sitting in the middle like this, and then you have your piece, right? Let's see, can I draw this? You have your baffle that's like this. And then you have your length that's like this, and then you have your bait well sitting in the middle like that. All right, so there's your U shape, the baffle in the middle, and then the bait well, right? That's kind of how it looks, right? So once you got that U shape sitting there like this, you take your other U shape and you put it directly across the other one. So basically, one sitting like this with the baffle in it, you take the other one and you put it the direct opposite, right? So once you put that one on top, you take your hog ring gun and you hog ring all the way around, just like that, and then follow the seams all the way around, follow the seams all the way around until you get back to the front. Boom. And then you'll see it like this. Don't hog ring this, because this is where you're gonna open. Again, you have one piece sitting this way, you take the other piece, and you have one piece sitting this way, you take the other piece, and you sit it directly the other way. And then you hog ring all the way around, follow the seams all the way around, until you get back to the front, and then that's where you have the opening at. Again, the baffle's gonna be 20 meshes. It's gonna be 20 meshes, bend 5, put it over a 2x4, direct center, bend it down. That way you have the cone looking thing. Put the bait well underneath, hog ring that together,